Now, it's going to look different because you're flying left seat. I would say turn final now. For the first time in my life, I was sitting in the pilot seat. My palms were sweating and my knuckles were white as my instructor led me through what was to be a windy landing. Good boy, now put in 10 more degrees of flaps. Either give it more power or push your nose down. Good job. Just when I felt relaxed, like I had control of the airplane, I hit a pocket of wind shear, and the plane dropped about 50 feet in a second. Give it power or too low. That's it. Now she's gaining airspeed, so pull up. I pulled up gently, but nothing was happening. Do not let this airplane fly you. You fly this airplane. Tell it what to do. I pulled up harder, and the plane started to ascend. Good. Now the runway lights are telling us that we're on the right track to land this old bird. I knew what to do from there. I had done it 100 times, even though I was only 13 years old. It's true. I grabbed the plane with almost full rudder to keep us on course, despite the crosswind. Now, easy, easy, easy. Now flare, my instructor said sternly. I gently pulled up, and the wheels greased the runway in the smoothest landing I could ever remember. Brake hard and steady, and let's get off the runway at the first turnoff, so the tower knows what you can do. Good, very nice. Now make your radio call. You ever wonder why the pilot slams on the brakes and turns off? He's trying to look cool. The sooner he turns off, the more control he shows he has of the airplane. Because there's like 50 turnoffs that he tries to get the first one. That's the ego. Lunk and ground. This is November 8 Kilo Delta. Request a taxi. I asked, nervous as always, on the radio. They gave me permission, and in minutes I had parked the airplane. My instructor looked at me with more pride in her eyes than I had ever seen. Grandma, thank you so much. You're welcome, sweetie. You're picking it up just like I did. You might very well be the most natural pilot I've ever seen fly. My grandma smiled and started unbuckling her seatbelt. The next time we go up, we're going to start some aerobatic maneuvers. I want you to be fearless up there, because once you're fearless, you can concentrate on what matters. Flying an airplane through the worst of conditions and surviving. A warm feeling came over me, and I couldn't wait for my next flight with my instructor, my co-pilot, my grandma. This must have been a dream. I always try to get by that without crying, so I did it. Fearless was a great word to describe my grandmother. She graduated pilot training in the U.S. Army Air Corps during World War II. Many women were helping the war effort by working in factories and supporting the men, but my grandma cut through social and sexist discrimination tirelessly, and she followed her dream to help the war effort the way she wanted to, by flying. During the war with the other WASPs, the Women's Air Service pilots, she flew missions in training aircraft before she was allowed to fly the heavier planes of the war, such as the B-29 and the P-51 Mustang. She was a total badass. She was my idol and my inspiration. Her "there I was" stories fascinated me, filling me with the confidence that pumped adrenaline straight into my soul. She even told me the stories I wasn't supposed to hear. Okay, where was I? Okay. Don't tell your mother I told you this, but would always be the start of a juicy tale. One of my favorites was about all the girls in pilot training driving off the airstrip to an out-of-the-way field in Texas and having a party complete with Coca-Cola bottles filled with bourbon. Although my grandmother died in 2003, she is not gone. The stories that she passed on to me will be passed on to my kids someday like a legacy. We all have a first memory that stays with us forever. It's that first moment that we can recall. All memories before that have been erased from our minds. Why that first memory doesn't also fade away remains a mystery. And that moment, for all of us, holds more importance than we give it credit for. For most of my life, that memory was when I was 9 years old. I was lying in the back of a rusted-out 1970s Dodge Dart, owned by my mother and driven by her new boyfriend, Alan. They were taking me on a trip that would change my life forever. We were driving from Cincinnati, Ohio to Attleboro, Massachusetts to start a new life. As I've matured, memories of events that occurred before that trip have surfaced. I'm amazed that I have repressed so much, and since those repressed memories found their way into my consciousness, I have been determined to continue searching for more lost moments in order to better understand why I am the person that I have become. More important, I continue to discover where I've derived the strength to deal with the challenges that I've met, accepted, and conquered. This book recalls those memories in the best, most accurate way possible. For readers, it will reveal the happiness and the horrors that I've witnessed in my home life, my military life, and my new life, as I like to call it. I am 32 years old. My name is Reichen. I was born to a policeman and a nurse in Cincinnati. Sometime between then and now, I managed to graduate from the U.S. Air Force Academy, serve in my nation's military, and come out of the closet on national television. Life, love, passion, sex, fear, and death. This is my story.
Wow.